Hi and welcome to this lesson on how to generate search terms. My name is Hald and I work as an information consultant at the Library of the Technical University of Denmark. In this lesson we will look at the importance of taking language into consideration when we generate search terms. Using good search terms improves your searches dramatically and helps you find the most relevant literature for your paper. The starting point is your research question. Here's an example. Climate change has dramatic effects on agricultural production systems. This paper focuses particularly on the impacts of temperature increase and drought on the maize production in the United States, and on how to reduce the effects of climate change. The paper will analyze the weather in the United States over the past 50 years in order to predict future patterns. Investigate the economic effects in the United States due to the decrease in production caused by temperature increase and drought on maize production. Use the Water Erosion Prediction Project Climate Assessment Tool, WebCat, to evaluate the effectiveness of strategies for managing the impacts of climate change on maize production. You start generating search terms by defining the concepts that will form the basis of your search term analysis. The research question should define which types of search terms you end up with. In this example, the most significant concepts are the ones highlighted here. Basically, the more comprehensive your search is, the more comprehensive your search result will be. The best way to begin is to come up with terms that relate to the words you have already selected from your research question. Watch out for search terms that relate to particular methods that are to be investigated or used in your project. Usually, searches for literature on methodology should be conducted separately, as they may obstruct and unintentionally narrow down your subject search. We will talk about how to find literature on methodology in one of our other lessons. Your research question is your main entryway to find search terms, but the research question in itself will not be adequate. To capture all the ways in which scientific literature defines and explores your research topic, you should take the interrelationships of words into consideration and work with abbreviations, synonyms, homonyms, spelling variations, and broader and narrower terms. You should consider if a given search term or phrase must be written out in full, or if it will make sense to look for both forms. Within some research fields, certain terms and phrases are customarily abbreviated as part of the professional lingo, but it may still be necessary to write out these in full in a search situation. In some subject-specific databases, it is necessary to use the specific technical term in order to capture all relevant literature on a given topic. This goes for the abbreviation HIV, for example. Here it will also be necessary to look for human immunodeficiency virus. In our research question from before, the abbreviations for Water Erosion Prediction Project Climate Assessment Tool, WebCat, and the United States, US, are obvious examples. Synonyms are basically words that have the same or similar meaning. Adding synonyms to a search will help you broaden your search and give you more search hits. For instance, a term like wastewater has synonyms such as sewage, effluent, slop, and discharge water. In our research question from before, we may use the word maize instead of corn. Homonyms are words that are spelled identically, but which have completely different meanings. The pronunciation may also differ, but in writing, of course, this does not matter. Homonyms may disrupt your search by giving you search results that relate to a different and irrelevant meaning of a particular word or concept. An example is the concept of firewalls that may refer to both computer software and to fire-resistant wall construction in a building. Most scientific literature is published in English, but remember that there is a difference between British English, American, Canadian, and Australian English. You'll need to take this into consideration in your searches so that you capture all the relevant terms and spelling variations. Examples could be favorite, skillful, analog, meter, or analyze. Sometimes your research topic may be so specific that it is difficult to find any information at all. If so, it may be useful to start out by looking for broad terms and gradually narrow down your search and make it more specific. Similarly, if your search generates too many hits, you may want to use more specific or precise search terms. For instance, it may be more useful to look for dairy rather than milk or cheese. In relation to our research question from before, climate change is a broad term, and examples of narrow terms might include temperature increase or weather development. Make a note in your work document of the search terms you gather as you look for synonyms, broader and narrow terms, and so on. While working on your paper, you will have to adjust your searches continuously so that they reflect the knowledge and the insights you acquire during the search process.